Character styles are a way for you to apply formatting to an individual letter or a highlighted word or multiple selected words. They do not apply to the entire paragraph. That's why they're called character styles. We're going to start in this document with the Type tool, and I want to make the words onlineinstruct.com bold. So I've double-clicked to get inside the text box and select the word Online Instruct. I'll Shift-click to add the .com. Now, you'll see that this document was built with quite a few paragraph styles to aid in global changes. It's been a common practice for years for web layouts to be mocked up in Photoshop. This helps the client visualize the line, the shape, the texture, and form that they want to display their content in. I just hit Command 0 or Control 0 to fit in Windows so you can get an idea of how this is done. There are guides dividing parts of the web page. There are spots that should draw the reader's eye to individual areas, and everything was built with styles. The white navigation bar at the top has a style, these red pieces of text have a style, and everything has a style. This way, if the client says, "Oh, I'm really not happy with that font," you can make global changes without having to highlight every single individual word or text area to have those changes kick in. Now for this example, I'm going to go and build a new character style for anywhere bold is used in the mockup. So in Character Styles, I've got my word highlighted. I'll click the Create New Character Style button. I'll double-click it to give it a name, Bold, and I'll choose the font family that we've used for the corporate identity here, Myriad Pro. Myriad Pro is one of those fully cross-platform fonts that ships with the Creative Suite. In fact, I've made a little cheat sheet in your Assets folder of the font families that come with Photoshop. In Myriad Pro, I'm going to choose Style Bold. But I will not specify a size or anything else that might change from text area to text area. So I'll simply click OK. Because if I have 7 points here and 10 points here and 6 points in another spot, I want to be able to use bold everywhere and not specify the size. In this copy, this is Myriad Pro Bold 7 point. If I decide to also bold onlineinstruct.com down here, I can go to my Move tool. To get out of this text area, go to my Type tool, and now double-click to get into this paragraph text area. You'll notice it's paragraph text because I've got a bounding box around the outside that helps me control the flow of the text. I will Shift-click at the end of .com to select all of it, and you'll notice this is Myriad Pro Regular 6 points. I'll click Bold once, and it stays in 6 points. A great way to switch back and forth without even looking at layers is to go to your Move tool, and again I can come back to the Type tool, and maybe I want to highlight one-on-one class, and I'll apply the bold. I'll hit Command 0 or Control 0 to fit in window, and now the client has just given me a specification that they would like all the bold spots to also be red. So I can double-click on my bold character style. But you have to be careful. This whole paragraph or entire layer that says need help with a particular project or feature is highlighted. And if I were to go straight for bold and double click it, the entire paragraph gets bold. So I'm going to cancel out of that because I only want to edit the style. As a safety measure, I will often go back to my text tool, get in something that uses the character style, and I'll step backward to undo that, back to my Type tool, and click in anything using the bold style. Now I can double click. Now I can click on color, and I happen to know they've chosen a hexadecimal value of 990000. That's their corporate value, red. Every company will probably have two colors selected, a Pantone or PMS color, which stands for Pantone matching system, as well as a hexadecimal value. Hexadecimal being the pound sign and typically 6 digits afterwards to specify a web color value. Now, if you do cascading style sheets that get shorter, it's actually 3 digits because the repeating values, when you see 999900 here, can be abbreviated as 900 or just 900. You omit the redundant parts. And now I could see that all of the spots that were bold changed to red. And I could safely click OK again, and that's a global change. In fact, if the client decided to change all of the body copy from Myriad Pro to another font that ships with Photoshop, you could edit it in one of the 2 body styles and it would update everywhere, saving, in my opinion, what could be hours over the length of the design spec process. So character and paragraph styles are a very welcome addition to me in Photoshop CS6. The last thing is, if I look at the paragraph styles, I could actually take the body style, there's 2 occurrences of them, 6-point and 7-point, and make one global edit to change the font to something other than Myriad Pro if the client decides they want to go a different route. In fact, I'm going to bring up Mini Bridge, and to do that, I'll go back to the Essentials workspace. In the Essentials workspace, I can double-click to bring up Mini Bridge, and you should see a document that has fonts included with Photoshop called Photoshop Fonts. Here, I've put for you an example of each font in its main family that comes with Photoshop. So fonts technically are licensed by their family. So I only listed the parents, basically. For Birch, for example, you have Birch Standard, but only a regular style. For Black Oak, the same, and Brush Script, but Adobe Caslon Pro has many different weights. So although this looks like a fairly short list, if you count the condensed, the bold italic, the italic, this is a wider selection. And when building class files, I always try to stick with the fonts that ship with the Creative Suite, or in this case, fonts that ship with Photoshop, so you guys can all open my files. Most of the font technology is also OpenType, which means it doesn't matter whether you're on Mac or Windows, it will always be the same characters. So this has been my tour of building a character style and applying it to a few spots, then making a global change through your Character Styles panel, which is new to Photoshop CS6. I hope you value the time savings that Adobe has given us by adding styles to Photoshop as much as I do. If you haven't done this the long way or the hard way without styles yet, then you may not have as big of an appreciation as I do right now. And I just want to say kudos to the Adobe team for listening that this is common practice in order to get a good proposed design to a client. Enjoy styles. I know I do.